What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And in today's episode, before we get started, I have to talk about an important update for you guys. So listen to this from the beginning and the end. Do not skip this. Repeat, do not skip this. So with my current situation, most of you guys should already know, if you've been watching my videos, that my Mac is completely broken, which is what I've been using to edit my videos from the moment I created this channel. So in turn, now I'm using a whole completely different program that I'm still trying to get versed in. So with that being said, certain videos that take me a lot longer to create, I won't have the time to do those kind of videos on a complete day-to-day basis. That will take a lot more time and effort for me until I get more versed in the editing program I'm using. And those videos are mainly non-animation reactions, because those are usually on the longer side, close to around like 40 minutes to an hour. And you guys don't believe me, you guys can check on the channel and see the ones I already did in the past. They're the longest videos I have made thus far on this channel. So with that being said, I don't plug this a lot because I get so caught up with my reactions, like SCPs I just get so excited about. But for the people that do not already know, if you guys do want to help support me being a content creator for full time and just anything that I'm going through, I do have a Patreon. It's in the description on all my videos on the channel. Feel free to join on that side if you guys do want to help out. You don't have to. If you guys want to, there is an outlet for you to actually extend your hand to help out. And also remember, over there I prioritize reactions. The Patreon is still a little work in progress, still trying to figure things out because I don't have that many people in there at the moment. However, on the Patreon side, you guys can recommend reactions that I cover on the channel, and I prioritize those ones because you guys are literally extending your hand to help me further my dreams as being a content creator, and I don't take that lightly, man. I really appreciate that, and that's awesome. So if you guys do, especially do have any non-animation reactions you guys want me to react to very bad, hit me up over there so I can see how important that is for you guys, so I could actually bring it out as soon as possible when I have the time to fit that in my schedule, because it's been so crazy. However, I just had to remind you guys because literally I don't think I ever talk about it in my videos because that's not really me. I'm here for the heat and I'm here to deliver, but that is something where you guys can help out when times get tough, like it is for me. So with that being said, I really appreciate all you guys. You do not even have to join Patreon if you don't want to. If you guys enjoy the content, you're having a good time with the animation reactions, feel free to flow. Sooner or later, the non-animation reactions will come back as soon as possible. But if you can't wait, you know what you could do. So with that being said, finally, what brings us today is SCP-4971, the Infinite Mall Rituals, and that's why we get into it today. So with that being said, if you guys enjoy my reactions, you guys want to see more, please remember to smash that like button, smash the sub button if not already part of the family, and smash that bell so you can stay plugged for each and every upload. So without any further ado, let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-4971 Rituals. Let's go.
Shopping malls are one of the most common locations in the United States and are usually quite predictable and boring. So then why is the one mall near Havensbrook, Indiana one of the most closely guarded SCP Foundation sites?
Havenbrook? Why does that sound so familiar? Havenbrook. Yo, that must be from some show. That's like they didn't make that up. There's no way. Oh, Southwood. This is from South Park. Oh my god, yo, what the hell? I didn't even look at the freaking. I didn't even look at the name of the mall, bro. Southwood Park. This is from South Park. I'm pretty sure. Wow, this is interesting. Okay.
The Southwood Park Mall has been shuttered, with the mall encircled by fencing and all entrances closed off. Foundation agents under the supervision of Commander Lana Gray have standing orders that if anything emerges from the mall, it is to be contained by any means necessary, or eliminated with necessary force. Just what is lurking inside? This is SCP-4971. A terrifying uncontained entity that is capable of initializing a VK-class salted Earth end of human habitability scenario.
What? Whoa, let me hear that one more time. Is this brand new?
71. A terrifying
VK class. I don't think I covered them.
Contained entity that is capable of initializing a VK-class salted Earth end of human habitability scenario.
Salted Earth? End of humanability? Bro, this might be a new class that I'm covering that this SCP falls under.
While SCP-4971 appears to be a standard closed American shopping mall from the outside, what's inside is completely different. Within the mall is a time-space anomaly, an and anyone who steps inside will find themselves in a massive outdoor climate under a sun that looks to be perpetually setting. While the climate and flora in the area appear to be similar to the Pacific Northwest or Yukon Territory, testing of samples has been inconclusive. What is clear to those who have explored this biosphere within the mall is that it is much larger than the confines of the mall, and the limits of its territory are unknown. But those who wander in are not alone, and that's where the threat lies. The Southwood Park Mall had operated since 1985, but by 2006 the last stores closed and the mall was left vacant and abandoned. The sign of urban blight soon attracted trespassers and criminals. Soon rumors began swirling about the strange rituals being performed by local teens. While many people alleged supernatural doings, no proof was found.
What?
That is, until 2007.
Were they doing like seances or something in the mall? What the heck?
It started as a standard break-in, and police were notified. But as they explored, they started hearing disturbing sounds. Screams and sounds that didn't sound like they came from this world. The trespassers were nowhere to be found, despite reports that a huge group was there. The search eventually revealed the portal to SCP-4971, which appears at different places in the mall and doesn't seem to be consistent. The Foundation quickly compiled all the information they had on the site and discovered connections to a dangerous group. One of the people reported to break in was Katarina Randolph, a local missing teenager with ties to Anna Christian, who was a known occultist in possession of artifacts used in summoning rituals. Both were members of the Daughters of Eden, a cult that believed that mankind had disrupted the natural order, and magic must be used to restore nature to its proper place.
Wow, a new cult that I never heard of. Wow, a new cult that I never heard of as well. Yo, I'm hearing about a lot of new things this episode. This must be a good one. Let me rewind it again. This is my first time hearing it.
To Anna Christian, who was a known occultist in possession of artifacts used in summoning rituals. Both were members of the Daughters of Eden, a cult that believed that mankind had disrupted the natural order, and magic must be used to restore nature to its proper place.
Magic? The
Foundation believed Christian might have been in possession of the Last Appeal of Baifi, a text supposedly based on the last words of a witch killed during a botched exorcism. Many believe the text had the power to summon nature spirits to drive away colonists.
What?
While most copies had been destroyed, this one had made its way from Nazi Germany all the way to Miskatonic University in Massachusetts. And now it was potentially in the hands of dangerous cultists. While Anna Christian was apprehended months earlier in a raid on the Daughters of Eden, the manuscript was nowhere to be found.
She took it.
And neither was Katarina Randolph, until she was seen breaking into the Southwood Park Mall just before the anomalous activity began.
Wow.
While the book contains several minor rituals, the final one claims to summon something called the One Who Knows Silence in the Earth.
I thought you guys couldn't find the book.
The entity Baifi reportedly called out for in her last words. A raid on Randolph's former living quarters revealed a rambling message where she referred to herself as a daughter of Gaia and Eden, and vowed to avenge the crimes committed against Earth and nature.
Wow.
Knowing these facts, the Foundation debated on how to contain SCP-4971. While they didn't believe the entity had been summoned, they believed it was in process.
Wait, so this entity is not the mall itself? It's something within the mall that the Daughters of Eden created? Is that what I'm gathering so far? What the heck?
With the final ritual yet to be completed, a ritual that required a high level of human sacrifice. A team was deployed consisting of codenamed agents. There was the team leader Eclipse, fire team Roman and Mercury, science team Atlantis and Bangkok, and Nine Eyes on communications.
9 Eyes?
They entered the closed mall, where there had been little activity, and turned on their lights to see around the darkened facility.
Okay.
It seemed normal at first, except for the disrepair and vandalism. But they soon noticed something odd. The mall didn't smell like an abandoned building. There was wind in it, and it smelled deeply unpleasant. As they entered the deserted atrium, they noticed the destruction seemed worse than expected, with a collapsed skywalk that couldn't have been knocked down by the vandals. As the team explored an abandoned clothing store, they encountered a humanoid figure that seemed to be covered in thick webbing, like they had been the victim of giant spiders who had planned to eat them later. And just beyond them, 3 unidentified figures lurked but didn't move, their eyes glowing in the darkness. They left the clothing store
What
and
the
decided
heck?
to watch if the strange figures would follow them, but they remained where they were. The team advanced into the mall, where they could hear the sound of rushing water getting louder despite no water in sight. And it was clear that the area they were exploring was far longer than the Southwood Park Mall should be. A sign on a store seemed to be written in no language at all. As the team entered another large atrium, the mall suddenly ended, and they found themselves in a different world.
What?
They stood atop a massive cliff overlooking a forest that seemed to extend forever. The sun was low in the sky and didn't move no matter how long they waited.
Why are they there,
The
though?
land seemed natural, except for a large symbol several meters away. It looked like a series of rings surrounding triangles and small rings carved into the ground.
Okay, so it seems like that the Daughters of Eden actually had a part to play within the creation of this SCP, because it looked like there's seances and everything, and they must have summoned a creature in the mall or whatever.
An area in the middle was burned, as if it had been the site of a fire, and several glass vials on the ground had been shattered. But most disturbing was the thick red liquid filling the trenches surrounding the symbols.
Is that blood?
A quick analysis of the liquid revealed it to be human blood.
The sacrifices.
Further examination of the site revealed an altar, a machete, and pages from the last appeal of Bifi, specifically the ones to summon the entity described in the end.
Bro, what is
But
this
while the
entity?
ritual demanded a high level of human sacrifice, no bodies could be found. The ritual was governed by the weight of the human hearts sacrificed, and an analysis revealed that the 61 people who had entered the mall and 4 officers who went missing would have reached a sufficient number to complete the ritual.
61 sacrifices? 61 humans for this ritual? Oh my god. So I'm assuming they just drained their blood and put it in there and discarded the bodies.
The Foundation was preparing to bring in a heavy fire team to eliminate the entity before it became a larger threat.
Nice.
But the team was skeptical. They hadn't seen any hostile presence yet, and had no idea what this entity was even supposed to resemble. They reported their findings back to command, offering to bring back the manuscript and other evidence, but were asked to move to a nearby water source and to hold their position until the heavy fire team arrived. They hiked through the nearby woods,
How's this a VK
noticing
class?
an increase in electromagnetic static that started to mess with their equipment. Mercury soon realized that they were being watched. While the other team members were skeptical, Mercury insisted that 5 or 6 entities were tailing them to the east. They started hearing odd chattering, unlike any known animal sound.
Alright, let's see
They
it.
couldn't locate the entity on thermal, but it soon came into view. It appeared to be an animal, but an odd flashing light appeared around its head, and it kept
Whoa.
appearing and disappearing. As they approached the river, the sun, which had not moved for hours, suddenly started setting, and it became abnormally dark. They tried to make contact with command, but the static had shut down their equipment.
Yo.
All recordings then cut out simultaneously, and contact with the team was lost. While the team was not recovered, the Foundation obtained enough information to put together a report on the entity for the heavy fire team. They had determined that SCP-4971 was the largest spatial anomaly ever encountered, being at least 400,000 meters in volume. It seemed to be self-sustaining, and maintained by an entity of enormous power.
Okay, so basically, I'm assuming they're talking about the mall, and somehow, some way, the mall is a gateway to another dimensional portal, which is like the valley with all the planes, where this crazy anomaly resides, which is supposed to be a VK class end of the world salted earth scenario. Bro, these Daughters of Eden got something crazy going on.
The symbol that appeared in the ritual was known as the Voxen Eye, and appeared in the last appeal of Bifi as the symbol she carved into her chest.
Oh my god.
It had been referenced repeatedly in arcane writings, and seemed to have its roots in the pre-Columbian North American occult, and it also appeared to be linked to the one who knows
All the
silence
hearts.
in the earth, the ancient being that took its payment in human hearts.
Bro.
It was time to send in the heavy fire team. The team consisted of Team Lead Horizon, Communications Officer Aleppo, and heavy fire agents Vestige, Kato, Carrier, Ashen, and Watt.
Y'all better be
They
careful.
followed the original team, who had lost contact but was still transmitting their location. The
Oh.
Foundation wanted to set up a long-range transmitter that would make it easier to communicate and set up a permanent base inside the anomaly.
That's interesting that they could still get communications of, the signal that they're putting out within this crazy dimension. The heck?
They advanced into the eerily quiet forest, the sun back in its usual position. As they walked, an unknown signal suddenly came over their broadcast. It was a song, broken up by static. The girl from Ipanema. The team was confused, but they would soon have much bigger concerns. There was a rustling in the woods, and a large group of figures emerged, followed by a single, much larger figure. It looked vaguely humanoid, but it was surrounded by a tangle of branches, vines, and leaves. More disturbing,
someone else?
It didn't have a head. In place where its face would be, there was a strange bright triangle that seemed to be vibrating in and out of place.
Some multiples
the
of
recorders
them?
became more and more distorted as soon as this being appeared. The team tried to make contact with the entity, but it didn't respond.
I knew it, multiple
They
of them.
fired their weapons, and the creature screamed and collapsed against a tree. The strange symbol shattered.
Oh.
While the entity seemed to be dead, their sensors picked up a mob of figures moving their way. They heard a high-pitched scream over their earpieces, and they were surrounded by dozens of similar entities.
Oh no.
The beings gathered around their fallen member. The team heard an odd sound of breaking glass mending, and the creature rose from the ground and rejoined its brothers.
Wow, okay, so this is kind of cool. I'm assuming the first one that they saw with the symbol on their face was the leader, because that one looked like kind of like a wolf or a bear. And these ones kind of look like, just humanoid creatures. So it's interesting. They're just following the orders of that main one, or they're all just one whole entity in itself.
And started advancing towards the team. The team moved away, but was quickly overwhelmed. Kato fell and was overcome by the creatures. Ashen fell in battle, and Wild lost an arm. As the group fled from the creatures, Aleppo's communicator went off. It was Eclipse from the first team contacting for help. Horizon made contact and listened to instructions that told them to head for high ground. The remaining members of the heavy fire team headed for a nearby rise, still chased by the chattering entities. The ground under them shook, and Wild fell behind and was snatched by the entities. In the end, it was only Aleppo, Vestige, and Carrier that survived to meet Eclipse. They compared notes, and Eclipse said that they had been there for a week trying to survive against the hostile beings. But the heavy fire team had entered less than a day after them, and had been there less than half a day. Something was wrong with the passage of time.
Yeah.
But the team had barely any time to reflect on this in
Time
their
moves
new
different, I
safe
guess.
spot. They heard intense static from their radios, followed by a low, droning sound. Their cameras broadcast a single still frame of something approaching, a multi-legged entity. And then their communications cut out and both teams were lost again. Additional recordings were found from the survivors of the first team led by Eclipse, detailing their experiences within the anomaly. They reported being in there for months, with their rations running out. While the water was drinkable, they reported it may be making them sick.
Oh man, I'm interested to see how much time has passed on the other side of things, like, regular world, compared to like the time in here.
The plants were inedible, burning their mouths, and the sun seemed to move only with their movements.
Dang.
They approached a mountain seeking what they believed was a way back home. But as they approached, they encountered a mysterious figure that appeared to be a naked woman dancing near a symbol on the ground and a human heart. The team tried to contact her, and realized she was singing the same song they had heard on the radio earlier.
Oh my god.
It was Katarina Randolph, the missing cultist.
She's been there the whole
When
time.
she turned around, they could see a large wound on her chest. As she ignored the team's orders, Nine Eyes fired and Randolph crumpled to the ground.
Wow.
Suddenly, there was a surge of energy, and the team was knocked to the ground.
They really just killed her just like that? The heck? Oh my god.
A new entity appeared in front of them. A massive being with a deer-like appearance but missing its head and neck,
Ooh.
surrounded by glowing orbs and with a massive white crest in place.
Is that the main one?
Suddenly, Randolph's body lifted into the air and the girl began speaking again.
What?
She called out to Gaia, claiming the entity could have her, and Randolph was transformed into one of the entities as her head collapsed in on itself. The sky darkened, and the team was lifted into the air, their hearts suddenly pulled from their chests. Only Mercury was left standing, running for safety. He was cornered by Katarina.
Oh my
pulled his
god.
gun, and the footage cut out one last time.
Yo, so that kind of confirms the other humanoid entities that had that, the shape on their face. They're probably the missing humans that got their heart taken out. And it's just crazy the whole team just got wiped out just like that with their hearts just pulled out of their chest. What? Yo, I did not see that coming.
SCP-4971 Nabla had been discovered, and it was one of the most dangerous beings the Foundation had ever encountered.
Reminds me of the deer.
An interview with Anna Christian, now in Foundation custody, revealed that the creature was sustained by rituals, all magical rituals of any kind. Human sacrifice gave it extra power, but it derived strength from everything, including the Foundation's many magical locks to contain entities. Stopping all operations would weaken the creature, but would also endanger the Earth countless times over by the potential release of the other contained entities. It was unkillable. It was near impossible to contain, and it was searching for a way out into the world.
Literally reminds me of the deer.
It was only a matter of
SCP.
time before it found it. The good news is that there is a reverse ritual, but the price is high.
Wow.
The last appeal of Bifi contains a reverse incantation that seals the portal to SCP-4971, but it requires a human sacrifice as well, and the cost increases exponentially.
Yeah, and it was already like 61 hearts that you needed to bring him here. I'm sure it's going to be double, if not more, to take him back to wherever he came from. Yo, oh my god. Round up the D classes, guys. Round them up.
The Foundation investigated and discovered that the cost would eventually increase to the lives of every living being on Earth that had not already been converted into the beings inside SCP-4971.
Every living being?
The SCP Foundation was faced with an impossible choice.
What the heck?
There was an incredibly powerful being that could end the world, and the only two ways to stop it both posed an unacceptable risk to the world.
Oh my
The Foundation
goodness.
met to discuss their options, and came up with a new esoteric classification for the object. Cernunons. Objects classified as Cernunons can be functionally contained, but the Foundation cannot achieve this due to logistical or ethical reasons.
A whole new classification just for this entity. Yo. The only one that's ever comparable to this one, where they had to make a whole new class itself, was the Doomram class for like What's After Death. That SCP that I did a non-animation reaction to. And now this one. Bro, I need to hear that classification again. Whoa. This is cool.
The Foundation met to discuss their options, and came up with a new esoteric classification for the object. Cernunons. Objects classified as Cernunons can be functionally contained, but the Foundation cannot achieve this due to logistical or ethical reasons. Therefore, SCP-4971 remains within the Southwood Park Mall, guarded by the Foundation, with SCP-4971 Nabla inside and hopefully contained there, at least for now.
Bro.
For more on unearthly objects contained within mundane locations, watch SCP-3008 Trapped in IKEA, or check out this video instead.
I haven't covered the second one over there, SCP-4290. I might do that in the future, but with that being said, guys, this was crazy. This was crazy. There's so many things that are just brand new, from the Daughters of Eden to new classification and VK class Salt Earth end of the world scenario. Like, I wish we got more detail about like the Salted Earth end of the world scenario. Like, what would he be capable of doing if he gets out there? But it seems like this guy has like no ceiling, to be honest. Like, straight up. This is crazy. Let me know what you guys thought about this SCP in the comment section below. And also, if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash that like button, and also smash this up. And if you made it this far, you're not already part of the family, and hit that bell so you can stay plugged for each and every upload. And remember, if you guys want to suggest me any videos that will be hard for me to make at the moment in time, you can hit me up on Patreon, and then I'll prioritize those ones with the ones I'll be covering on later dates. So with that being said, hope you guys all have a phenomenal day. And unfortunately, that concludes today's episode. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one.